Hello, my dear students. I hope you all are enjoying learning from home classes. In today's English class, we shall continue with Unit 1, Never Give Up, and will move ahead with Section 2, A Story of Courage. Let me start this session with a question. Have you ever faced challenges in life? Have you ever been in a place that was entirely new for you? Well, we all have faced this. We might have ended up being in a place or a situation where we are unsure of what will happen next. So, dear students, this story is also about such an unfamiliar situation where a young boy, Harjeet Singh, travels to a new strange country and come to terms with his fears and anxieties. Anxieties means nervousness and uneasiness. So let us move ahead with the story. Section 2, A Story of Courage. Harjeet Singh sat on the bench by the carousel at the airport waiting for his suitcase to arrive. He was tired and cold and wasn't used to this weather. In Amritsar, where he came from in India, it was 37 degrees. In Paris, it was just 14 degrees. His father called out to him, "Hurry up, Harjeet. The driver cannot wait much longer, just for you." Harjeet was a little upset. He had not wanted to come to Paris. He wanted to stay in India with his friends. But because his father had received a job offer in France, they had to leave India and make a new start. Still waiting by the carousel for his luggage, Harjeet looked curiously at the crowd of people surrounding him. Harjeet suddenly felt like he was being stared at. He looked around and saw a boy who was just have been 10 years old, the same age as Harjeet. The boy was staring at his turban, which upset him and made him feel self-conscious. Angrily, Harjeet stepped up to the carousel and saw a bag that looked similar to his own. He snatched the bag, even though he wasn't entirely sure it was his. All he knew was that he wanted to get out of the airport and away from the inquisitive eyes. As they drove to their new apartment, Harjeet glared out of the car window and took note of how different everything looked compared to back home. Back home means India, from where he had come. It was cleaner. There were clusters of very beautiful big buildings with gold paint on them and statues on top. The sky was very grey and the ground was wet with rain. He saw lots of people sitting outside the shops drinking coffee and talking. When the car stopped at a set of traffic lights, Harjeet rolled down the window so that he could listen. "They talk very strange," he thought to himself, but he knew that this was all a part of the experience. "You will benefit from this experience," his papa had said as they set off from India. "So many of your friends would die for the chance to travel to Europe. You should not be scared. It is an adventure." As the car rolled on, Harjeet realized that there was a strange sort of silence on the roads. The cars are not beeping their horns at each other in Paris, he thought. There are a lot of cars, but they are all driving in neat lines, all in separate lanes. The cars aren't getting stuck at all. They just keep moving. It is not at all like this in India. They continued to drive through the city, and soon they passed a strange, imposing metal building where groups of people were standing and taking photographs. "I wonder what that is," Harjeet asked nobody in particular. "Maybe it is something like the Golden Temple or Taj Mahal, where people from all around the world come to take pictures." Suddenly the car stopped as a man on a bicycle crossed the road in front of them. The man waved to say, "Thank you," and the young boy had to laugh to himself. This is a very strange country, he thought, where cars stop for people to cross the roads. The family soon arrived at their new apartment, and Harjeet's father told him that he must go to bed very soon as it was already late and he would have to enroll at school the next day. Harjeet sulked off to his new room and closed the door behind him. As soon as he was inside, the young boy was once again amazed at his new surroundings. The room was extremely large, with huge windows all along one wall. The ceiling was so high that not even Harjeet and all of his friends, piled one on the top of another, would be able to reach up and touch it. This thought also saddened the young boy because it made him miss his grandparents and his friends. Not knowing what else to do, he jumped onto the bed and sank his head into the pillows and cried himself to sleep. The following morning, just before dawn had fully broken, Harjeet awoke and realized that it was not a bad dream at all. He really was in Paris. He crawled out of bed and looked out of the window at the few people below. It was all so different from Amritsar. He missed the constant noise from the Golden Temple, the people and the cars and the rickshaws. There was something very comforting about that noise. He was used to it and he missed it already. He decided to look at the photos of his friends and family which he had brought with him. He sat on the floor and crossed his legs and pulled his bag towards him. But just as he began to unzip the bag, he noticed that it had a small keyring attached to the zipper in shape of the tall building that he had seen the previous evening on his drive from the airport. And when he opened the bag, there was a flash of gold, just like from the pirate's chest. And inside he saw something shiny and familiar. The bag contained an icon of the Golden Temple and one of the Taj Mahal. There was a collection of objects from India too, which made him feel even more homesick. Homesick means longing for home or family. He lifted the icons from the case and kissed each in turn before returning them safely to their home. He was thrilled to see such familiar objects from his beloved India. But he was also scared. This is not my bag. How am I going to tell Papa that I took the wrong bag from the airport? Suddenly a voice called out from the hallway. It was Harjeet's papa. Harjeet, wake up. My son, it is time to get ready for school. I hope you're excited about making new friends, learning a new language, and trying new food. There is so much for you to experience. Harjeet's father appeared in the doorway with a big smile on his face. Do you remember how we talked about this? He asked his son. This is a very exciting day for you. Harjeet looked up at his father with sad eyes. But Papa, yesterday the boy at the airport was staring at my turban. What if I have to cut my hair? People here don't smile very much, and everyone talks, but I don't understand what they're saying. They do not even speak much English, which I might understand better because I learned that at school. I just want to go home. I don't even have my own clothes because I took the wrong bag from the airport. With this little confession, Harjeet ran towards his father and began to cry in his arms. Have you ever felt out of place because of the way you look or the clothes you wear? How did you deal with the situation? Think about the answers for these questions, children, and we are going to discuss it when the school reopens and we are together. That is all for today, children. I'll see you tomorrow with the second part of this lesson. Thank you so much and have